Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, as if you didn't know, 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com, and make it part of your daily routine. There's so many things that are out at allamericangold.com. We post, Monday through Friday. I give Ramon the weekend off because I'm a nice guy. But articles and videos and all these different things that you need to know about, the vast majority of them, the show's only an hour. And then really, it's not even an hour. You got all the commercials, people got to pay the bills and do all that stuff. Let's call it, 45 minutes. You just can't get it all in. So make sure you're out there and keeping yourself educated. Obviously, we got the shopping cart button. You can shop online. The metals plan, if you want to get a part of that. I will say this. I don't get it. I think everybody should be in the metals plan, but that's just me. We actually had to, we remodeled the office, and you got to do it. It's been 17 years. You got to update it once in a while, and we're almost unpacked. But to give you an idea of how big the metals plans have gotten, we had to. We've got these, the furniture and these filing cabinets that, they're office filing cabinets, and we had to do double the filing cabinets of furniture because the metals plan, it just takes up so much room. I mean, we've got hundreds and hundreds of people in the plan. It's a great way to do it. You just get shipments every quarter. I mean, it's just that easy. You pick the dollar amount, you pick the day of the month. You leave a card on file. Minimum is $100. There is no maximums. And here's the best part: all the money gets pooled together, so you buy at the best price. And we're not talking about 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars of purchasing power. So you get the best prices. If you want to sign up, give the girls a call. They'll help you through it. 800-951-0592. Don't forget 1360, the radio station that we own in Colorado. You're at that point now where, you had no choice. Right? If you want to have the message get out, you had to step up, and that's what we've done. Don't forget our CBD products. I can't say enough great things. I promise you, by the end of this week, I may be stepping on myself here, but I'm putting some pressure on my guys. By the end of this week, we will have a CBD section in our podcast. So that way you can listen to. I think the first one that we're going to have, it's about a 30-minute deal, which is a longer one, just all about CBD, so you can learn more about it. And then we're going to add 5-10-minute deals with Jerry from My Kind about every product, so you can learn more about them. I'm telling you, they're fantastic. They can help you, and the way they go about it is what makes them different than everybody else. The purity of the CBD, which is really the most important part. Right? You see all this stuff. You can buy stuff at the grocery store that is $20. It's not going to do anything for you. You got to get the real deal. That's what we got. 1360 KHNC. Hit that shopping cart button. By the way, the retinol cream, we're setting records. That has become the number one seller out there. If you want to look younger, this isn't me now. Of course, listen, I'm beautiful, so I don't need to look any younger, because I'm bald, I'm fat, I'm hairy, and that just makes it even for everybody else out there. I've got a cool, I got a cool mustache I'm working on right now, so I'm okay, but if you want to look apparently 10 years younger, go check it out. 1360 KHNC, hit the shopping cart button. And, of course, what does that do? It really funds the radio station. It is by far the biggest contributor to our bottom line. And we thank everybody out there. And send us your stories. If you got something that's working for you, let us know so we can share it with other people. It's a great way to get the word out. If you've, we said one of our customers had the restless leg, and he got the tincture. And I don't know if it was the 1,000 or the 3,000 milligram tincture, but he said, man, it's been so much better. All these different things it can do for you. So let us know about that. A lot to talk about. We got gold and silver rallying. The Dow's down 300 points today. The products, again, we're getting into this situation where all of a sudden, again, products getting hard to find. We're still waiting on the mint. Are they going to announce a shutdown? They're supposed to have the new designs and all that stuff. Haven't heard anything about that. 10th ounce gold eagles are supposed to arrive today, both in Arizona and Colorado. I have 10th ounce gold eagles available on our shopping cart. At least for now, I'll keep it up there until I can't get them. But I found a source. This is the thing. When you've been around for 25 years, people know who you are. And one of the few companies right now that actually has 10th ounce gold eagles and actually can get them. Silver eagles, if you're waiting on silver eagles, those are supposed to land tomorrow. And we're going to be right on top of things. So don't touch that dial. Got a great show for you. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Gold's up a 10 spot, 1779. I'm going to give you a number. Write it down if you want. 1788. We close above 1788. Forget about 18. We're not going to stop at 1800. Then we're going to look at about 1820. We close above 1820, 1850, above 1850, 1900. You know how it goes. By the way, the gold shorts are evaporating now. Everybody, the charts, and you got to remember. And when you talk about, hey, why did gold and silver pull back? So you think about the first quarter of this year. Essentially, gold and silver spent the first quarter of this year falling. And all because of computers and technicals and charts and not actually about supply and demand. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Demand, it may be at an all-time high. We just don't know. It's hard to tell because nobody's got any product. I would love, this is what I believe. If the U.S. Mint could have made 100 million ounces of silver eagles, we'd have sold it all. I mean, 50 million's the record. We'd have smashed it. Easy. But you can't get it. But now the gold chart, and that happens right there. Okay, and let's find the new, the new bottom. Now the gold charts, when they broke above 17, it had to break 1750, close above, I want to say it was 1758, I think that was the number. That's done, and on we go here. Silver still got a little work to do. I need to see silver close above 26 and a quarter. It's got to close above 26 and a quarter. Right now it's at 26. It's higher as well today. And then silver, again, get ready. Right, where you're going to see the silver charts, because when the silver charts turn, I think you're going to see a quick move. And again, a quick move where we're going to be talking about $30 silver again. So you have the numbers. You have the numbers, but the gold chart now has turned. Now you're going to see the computer buying stuff. And that's why I'm telling you about 1788. Close above 1788. All the computers say buy. And that's what they're going to do. And silver right there. Silver's on the cusp. And I think gold will drag silver with it. But then once silver hits, get ready. I think we're going to see a big move there. And We've been talking a lot about this no inflation nonsense. Who was it today? Procter and Gamble. And I'm reading these companies. Coke won't even tell you how much they're raising prices. Procter and Gamble today, they did exactly what Kimberly Clark did and said, hey, listen, mid to high single digits. In other words, here's what they said. Hey, 7 to 9%. And my guess is a lot of it's going to be like 9.5% because they don't want to hit you with 10. Here's the problem. And I want everyone to understand this because this is something, again, when they sit there and they talk about, oh, no, there's no inflation. It's going to be transitory. They're flat out lying. Flat out lying. Because all of these companies hedge. I mean, think about how big companies like Kimberly Clark and Procter and Gamble and Coca-Cola and Pepsi. I mean, when you think about a grocery store, okay, forget about take away the meat department, take away the produce department. So now you're talking about what? Pre-packaged products. The whole rest of the store, right? You're talking about your nasal sprays and your aspirins and your cough drops and all that stuff, your acne medications. By the way, CBD really good for that as well. You're talking about your diapers, right? You're talking about your feminine hygiene products, your shaving products. You're talking about your canned soups and prepackaged spices and the cereals and all that stuff. That's Procter and Gamble and Kimberly Clark. They pretty much own most of that stuff. And they're saying, hey, listen, every single product is going up. But you got to understand, they hedge. Just like we tell you, why do you own gold? Why do you buy gold? Because you're hedging yourself against the crazy devaluation the central bank has put us on. We can't stop Jay Powell from printing money out of thin air. We can't stop the Democrats from passing every stupid pork project the world's ever seen. We can't. We're powerless. So you buy gold as a hedge. These companies, I can't describe to you the buying power that they have. They buy, think about it, paper products, right? Paper towels, toilet paper, Kleenex. Think about the cardboard that all the stuff goes into. That's all from paper. All the packaging. Prices have gone through the roof. By the way, do you know that lumber has not had a down day in 3 weeks? Every day, new all-time record high, new all-time record high, new all-time record high. But what is my point? What am I getting at? These guys were pretty well hedged in 2021. Here's the problem, and the Coke CEO said it yesterday. Procter & Gamble CEO said it today. Hey, we're raising prices that we're reacting to the stuff that, hey, maybe we didn't hedge it enough, right? We didn't hedge enough of the paper products. We didn't hedge it enough, say, on crude oil. We didn't hedge it enough on plastics and things of that nature. But they all said, guess what? Our hedges for 2022 and 2023 are going to be significantly higher. So here's what, essentially, both CEOs said the same thing in the last 48 hours. We're raising prices this year, and we're going to do it next year. And guess what? We don't want to tell you how big next year's going to be because we don't want Jay Powell to be mad at us. Believe me when I tell you, here's the choices they have to make. Are we going to hedge in 2022 and 2023 and 2024 with record high paper and lumber prices? Are we going to hedge with record high copper and steel and iron ore prices? Are we going to hedge with record high, well, not quite record high yet, plastic products? Are we going to hedge crude oil? Or are we going to risk it? I'm going to tell you right now, they're way too big to risk it. They're not risking it. They're not risking it because they already know prices aren't going lower. They're headed higher. How about this one? Manufacturers, importers, distributors, retailers, you name it, are all groaning under surging shipping expenses as freight companies have raised rates all across the board. So think about this. Now we're not even talking about the cost for raw materials. Now we're talking about, I bought the raw materials, I got to get the raw materials to me. Cost through the roof. Well, wait a minute. The raw materials cost me more. Now the shipping cost. Now I've made the product. Now I've got to ship. Oh, wait, cost me more. They said that in March, shippers spent on shipping their goods to consumers spiked 17% from a year ago. Not from a year ago. Just from February. The biggest month-to-month spike going back to when they started tracking the data in 1990. Because remember, right, you didn't really track a lot of this shipping cost stuff until after NAFTA and GATT exploded in free trade, right? So they've been tracking this since 1990. And they're telling you there's no inflation. It's not going to happen. It's transitory. It's the largest price increase ever in a single month. Here's the problem. By the way, all this data courtesy Wolf Richter. God, he's so good. The case, they call it the Cass Freight Index. And this has been around, like I said, for the last 30-some years now. They said February had already set the previous record. So they said when you go back and say, hey, what does it cost to ship a product? Now, going back here, here's the problem. That was already March of last year. COVID had already started. Pricing, shipping costs were already falling. They're saying shipping costs are already up 30%. 17% in a single month. And they're blaming it on just what I've been telling you, free money, stimulus. They said that everybody getting the check, and it's not just us, it's everybody out there. They said that it has produced the worst trade deficit ever. Now remember what a trade deficit is. I want you to think about this. Okay? We buy and we sell. We buy and we sell. If you buy more than what you sell, what happens? If you're a business owner out there, and month after month after month after month after month, you buy more than you sell, what happens? First of all, you got crap everywhere, right? And eventually, right, your cash flow goes to nothing, and you're probably going to go bankrupt. Or you got to do what? You got to slash the price to try to get rid of it. It's a little different. But think about it this way. Because this is how the rest of the world thinks about it. You have wealth. And you are now every month sending, right now it's averaging $60 to $80 billion a month out of your bank account. Month after month after month. And that's what's happening here in the United States. We're not quite at the $1 trillion mark, right? No, our trade deficit's only about $750 billion a year. And this is all leaving the United States. Now, what they're supposed to do, Because remember, this was planned. They're supposed to buy the treasuries. That was the trade-off. And now we know. What do we know? It's not happening. Nobody's buying, no one's lining up for these treasuries, of course, because why? Well, because right now a 10-year note should be what? 7, 8, 9% at least. Really, that's just to keep up with it. Really, it probably needs to be 11 or 12% for anybody to feel like it's worth it. Think about these deliveries now. So we just talked about, hey, I got to put them on ships. I got to do that. How about when it's here? The average national spot rate, the spot rate, in other words, cash, for van-type trailer deliveries, up 10% in March from February, up 41% from a year ago. The average cost, $2.65 a mile. Wait, but there's more. Patriot Radio News Hour. Yes, it's costing me 40% more to ship all of my products. It's incredible. By the way, they're talking about, delivery by van, delivery by flatbed. Okay, so that's, you're hauling heavy equipment, construction materials, all the grocery stores. Think about all the semis and all that. Up another 8% in March from February. It's only up 30% from a year ago. $2.76 a mile. But here's the problem. The contract rate now $2.85 a mile and rising. And again, you're looking at crude oil back to $63 and $64. And the spending it's everywhere. How about out of LA today? People they haven't figured it out. I want to use a quote from the mayor of Los Angeles to show you the stupidity of our elected officials. And again, this is why you never wanted to have big government. Tell me the last time anybody has experienced help from the government that didn't end up costing everybody 10 times whatever the help was. So here's his quote from the mayor of LA. How many decades are we going to keep fighting the war on poverty with the same old results? This is one of the cheapest insertions of resources to permanently change people's lives, he said. Now, what was he talking about? Are we finally going to smarten up and realize if you give somebody something for nothing, all as it does is make them more dependent upon the handout? How do I know this? Am I Einstein? Am I Sir Isaac Newton? Am I one of the most intelligent people on the face of the earth? Let me tell you, nobody's going to confuse me for one of the most intelligent and smartest people on the face of the earth. Right? Because let's face it, if I was, I'd try to be like Elon Musk, who's going to be a trillionaire, all thanks to the government handing him money. That's a smart guy. Me, I'm just a schmuck. How do I know? Because we've been doing this for decades. Remember food stamps? Most people don't realize food stamps didn't even exist until 1968. Do you know how many people were on it? About 2 million. We won't even know how many people are on it for like another 6 months by the time they get to them. But I'm going to I got to guess. 50, maybe 55 million are on food stamps now. But this was the mayor of Los Angeles. And I thought, what is he going to do? Is he going to, hey, stop giving handouts. I got a great idea. I don't know. How about we just get rid of all the restrictions and get everybody back to work? How about that one? Oh, no. That's not what he was talking about. They're going to give people even more money. Yep. The LA Council has approved to give monthly payments of $1,000 to $2,000 a month to low-income families. Yep, they want to grow this too. Now there's going to be a line, right? You gotta sign up for it. Think about what do you think all of this is going to do? Let me ask you, do you think this is going to lower your food bill? Do you think this is going to lower your gasoline bill? Do you think this is going to lower any bill you may have? No. How about if you're a person who's not getting the $1,000 to $2,000 a month? How do I get that? Oh, wait, quit my job? Okay. Where do I sign up? It's incredible, and it's happening over and over and over again. The Democrats are already getting ready. They want to start talking now. They haven't gotten the infrastructure done yet, but the second that's done, I give that thing another week or two. But the second that bill's done, they're going to line up. They're going to hand out another check. Oh, yeah, we're not done with the checks. We're never done with the checks now. And like I said, this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm not smart. I'm not some kind of genius. But I do know that you can't give people something for nothing. It just makes people more reliant upon the government. And this is the government. This is their only solution. Every single time there's a crisis, what's the solution? Print more money. And guess what? They finally did it, didn't they? Now, they were able to lie about inflation for like 20 years. Right? They changed all the calculations. Inflation never went away. It never went away. See, but they knew they were going to blow this big debt bubble. And the only way to finance it and have it be, not freak out is to have interest rates, the Fed funds rates, at zero. Well, we can't have it at zero if we say inflation's 5 or 6%. I got a great idea. This is what the smart bankers did. Let's change the calculations so we don't actually track the price of anything. And they've done it. But now, guess what? It just allowed them to hide. Look at how much debt they've added. Do you know when they started changing inflation? So they closed the gold window in 71. They immediately tacked $3-4 trillion onto the debt. Then they changed the way they calculated inflation from the mid-90s all the way to the early 2000s. They changed everything. And then they spent the next 20 years lying to you about inflation. Think about everybody on Social Security. You're supposed to get a thing called a COLA, cost of living adjustment, every year. Do you know that every year in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, up to the early 90s, it was about 5% a year every year? I think the biggest number since 2000 was 2.3%. We've had like 5 or 6 years where you got nothing. Now, that's what everyone's going to get. That's what your Social Security check's going to be worth in about 5 years. Nothing. Patriot Radio News Hour. Got a gold special when we come back. We've been giving people free money for decades. It's not working. They're still in poverty. I know. Let's give them even more money. Brilliant. Of course, we all know. I know, right? You don't have to be that smart to figure it out. Whatever you give them, all that's going to do is raise the price of everything. They're still in poverty. The only difference is now they're in poverty with a bigger number. Now they're in poverty where they're even more reliant upon the government. Listen, I wish it was that simple, right? I mean, come on. If it was, don't you think we already would have done it? You know what? Everybody that's working, not working, whatever it is, whenever you make less than $50,000, okay, and I'm just arbitrarily picking a number, 50 grand, the government will give you a check to get you to 50 grand. Okay? Now, do you think that would make everybody middle class? Do you? Or is it going to make everything so expensive that 50 grand still means you're in poverty? Of course, it's the latter. Of course, it's the latter. Oh, we've never, ever seen this before. The amount of giveaway, we're talking about deficits for a year, $4, $5, $6 trillion. I mean, it's mind blowing. And you know what the answers are from these bankers? Oh, well, as long as it's cheap right now. It's cheap. So why not? I'm going to tell you why not. What happens when it's not cheap anymore? And we're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out. Because I got news for you. This isn't transitory inflation, my friends. This is called reckless, idiotic, flat-out, dumb economic policy, plain and simple. And you better be hedged and you better be protected. And that's why I'm telling you, you need an ounce of gold for every year you've been alive. You got to have it. Got to have it. If you want to do it in silver, well, figure about 65 ounces of silver for every year you've been alive. Right? Either way. Because we already know what's going to happen. The bubble's going to burst. Everybody, we're going to get the new money. Anybody that's actually saved any money, you're going to take a haircut. That's how it works. Is the world going to come to an end? No. Right? Did it come to an end during the housing and the financial crisis? Nope. Just sucked real bad for most people. If you got gold and silver put away, it just sucks less. And when it happens and we get the digital money, sell some of that gold and silver back for a lot more than what you bought it for and take advantage of the relatively inexpensive stuff out there. That's how you get it done. So here's what we've got. Listen, it's getting more difficult by the day again. On the gold side, we were running $5 Liberties yesterday. I've got 20 of them left. Gold's up $10. Forget about it. I got 20 of them left at $5.75. $20 gold today. They're going to be XF, VF, AU, I don't know, a mix. A mix. And what does that mean? Nothing really. Well, some coins are a little shinier, some have less coin marks. I don't know. Who cares? $2,025. $2,025 on a $20 gold piece today. And listen, here's the problem. You got like 50 available. That's it. And then you got to start paying more. The premiums are just starting to pick up. And again, I'm telling you, the trade deficit, get ready. This is going to be such a number. We've never seen trade deficits like this before. The dollar is going to be under pressure for it. It's going to be I'm telling you right now, what I'm hearing from the ports of L.A. and Long Beach, You're talking about ships sitting out there waiting weeks to get in, to get their products off. It's just absolutely incredible. And you start thinking about the cost of transportation. You start thinking about the cost of raw materials. I just told you, how can lumber not go down for a single day in three straight weeks in a row? It's incredible. I don't know, a lot of people, when you think lumber, you think about the 2x4s. It's everything. All the cardboard, all the pulp, all the paper, all this, all that. It's in every packaging, everywhere. This is a runaway freight train, and again, they can count it any way they want. They can count it any way they want, but here's the reality. The more money they spend, the less it buys, and guess what? They thought they were so smart that it was going to be, you know what, we could just print it and print it and print it and print it. And nothing bad's going to happen. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. The last of the $5 liberties at $5.75, and then $20 gold pieces at $2,025 at 800-951-0592. U.S. Silver Eagles at $7.60. Rolls of half dollars $2.60. Rolls of quarters $2.50. Rolls of dimes $1.25 and rising. You know, we know the government's never paying this debt off. But think about a Ponzi scheme. The new money comes in to pay off the old investor. Right? That's what we have going on here. We have a debt that's never going to get paid. Right? And wait, I mean, next year, and I keep forgetting, next year we have another super spike in Social Security, 2022, another big wave. The amount of money our government needs to fund itself is off the charts. So we're running this classic Ponzi scheme of we're collecting this new money to pay off the people that were invested earlier, but they're not investing more, right? The people that invested earlier, they're not upping their game. Instead, what are we doing now? Now the central bank's buying. Of course, they're buying it because they're trying to disguise it to keep the rates low. You know, just start thinking about it. The amount of money that it's going to cost us to finance this stuff when nobody wants it. Now, we can keep printing it. And we're going to, believe me, they're going to print it forever until it blows up. But all it does is devalue its worth, and it costs more for everything. And that's what's happening. Why are the poor people getting... There's more people below the poverty line today than there was 20 years ago. You know, think about it. Gen X. If you're a Gen Xer, I'm a Gen Xer. First generation that's not going to live better than their parents. Why? Because they finally devalued the money so much we can't afford to buy anything. I mean, come on. Pull your head out. Really? Homes cost $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 and they're dumps. Right? Those are dumps. Or you live so far away from where you work, right? Right? You're going to commute 45 minutes each way. Nobody can afford to live in those. And here's the problem. Maybe we could squeak you in when rates were zero. You know what my fear is? By this time next year, they're not going to be able to be zero. They got to fight inflation. And that's when this whole thing, when does this end? That's when it ends. That's when it ends. Have your fiscal house in order. Make sure you have your gold and your silver put away because listen, we know this is the plan apparently. 800-951-0592. God bless everybody. I know I was a little upset today. I'll calm it down tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.